Yay, it's working. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Good evening. Welcome from all the places near and far that everybody is. And thanks for joining us tonight. We are going to be talking today about our actors' access profiles, or our children's actors' access profiles. And for those of you who haven't been on this call, we always start with the same picture because it reminds me of what it felt like when I was at the beginning of this journey with our daughter, and it felt like I was on a very fast-moving highway that had a lot of things flying in my face that I was trying to learn about as I was starting. And it wasn't fun. And our hope is that by running these sessions that it'll start to feel a little bit more like this and a little more calmer and more zen, if you will. So with that in mind, we're going to do introductions in a little bit, and I'm going to ask you to change your name in your rename yourself in your little window. We'll talk briefly about what our community norms are. I'll share some of the resources that you have available to you for those who might not know. And then we'll talk about optimizing those profiles, and then we'll have open Q&A. And then when are we meeting again next? And actually, if anybody has a particular topic that you would like us to cover in future sessions, feel free to let us know throughout in the chat. So, any questions on the agenda today? No. All right. And this is an open space, so feel free to chime in. You can put something in the chat, but you can certainly unmute and just contribute. So if you could rename yourself with your first name and then the age of your child and how long you've been in this business. And the way to do that is if you hover over your picture, you'll see 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner. And if you click on that at the bottom of the menu, it says rename. And so our daughter is 14, and we've been doing this for 5 years. So I will add that to my name. And this just gives us a sense, so then I know when we're answered questions, who's in the room and how much experience you have and how we might need to adjust the answer for it. Amber's here! Yay! Welcome, Amber! And welcome Valerie and Crystal as well. And whoever is iPhone. You are most welcome. All right. And then if you have any burning questions that you would like answered, hi, Crystal, feel free to drop those in the chat. And if for anybody who's on your phone, if it's tricky to rename yourself when you're using your phone, feel free to just drop in the chat your first name, how old your child or children are, and then how many years you've been doing this, just so we have a sense. That'd be great. All right. And with that, so these are the community norms we ask folks to abide by when we're on these calls. And so I'll give you a chance to read through them and just let us know if you have any questions or if there's any that you're like, I can't live with that. Feel free to speak up. And if you're good with all of them, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. For anybody who hasn't heard this before, the 3 knock is just if we get off topic, that we can kind of like, hey, can we get back to the point, to keep us focused so we don't travel too far away. Places like to see something on Actors Access. All right, can we live with all these? Yes, yes, I see thumbs ups. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, thank you. All right, so a couple resources for us to be aware of. How many folks have anything on this list is not familiar? Raise your hand if you're not familiar with even just one thing on here. Yep. Okay. And this, hi Stacy, yay. And this is not even a complete list. Like there's the overarching page that goes with Child Actor 101, the Facebook group that Corey started. Then there's something called Prep 101, which is to help prepare and do scene analysis for your scripts if you need it. Then there's something called Reader 101 if you're a parent that you don't feel like you're a great actor and you need some help. How do I read these scenes? Then there's something called Bold Choices for helping to sort of interpret the script in different ways. And I skipped over, there's a new one that Corey just announced I think last week, called Pages, the second bullet, pageschildactor101.com, which is where if anybody wants or needs a website for your child, if that's something that you'd like, he has created an interface where you can create a free one. And then I think if you upgrade it to like the fancy version, where you have more control over the template, I think it's like $49.95 or something like that. But you can look for it on, he announced it literally, I think, last week, or maybe even earlier this week. If you look up posts that he's made, you'll be able to see it. And then there's also a guide for headshots and a guide for writing your child's resume, a directory of all the fabulous vendors that we have at our disposal in the Child Actor 101 community, including Amber and ActorSite as one of the best best coaches and acting class providers there are. And photographers, headshot photographers, there's just a whole bunch of different vendors and resources, and Corey vets them. So the ones that are in there, he has researched and looked up and checked that they are legit. And if you have somebody that you feel is legit and worthy of being listed, please suggest that to him and let him know, and then he'll add them. And then there's overall classes. Right now, Corey is running the charisma class, and then coming up, he has his, it's like mastery methods, where he's going through all the major acting models, or methods, sorry. Stanislavski, Meisner, Stella Adler, Uta Hagen, all the folks. So if you have a little kid, you don't need to worry about that. if you're like tween teenager, then that might be something that you want your kid to explore. But at the same time, Amber and ActorSite also have a wealth of classes that are continuously running throughout the year. Some of them are one-time only. Some of them are intensives for parents. Some of them are meeting on a regular basis, and they don't stop. Like they have advanced acting, where if your child has taken the fundamentals courses that they need to as prerequisites, they can sign up and they can practice every single week if you want. Did I represent that accurately, Amber?
Excellent. Yep, sounds great. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so all those things, and they are all listed except for the Pages one, because that's new, in this post that Corey made on May 5th. And at the end of this session, I can show you how to get to it. But it goes on and on and on. So many, that wasn't even all the resources. There's just more resources. He's put a lot of time and energy into all those. So go ahead and take advantage, because there's a lot more than just the, ask a question and get an answer functionality of Child Actor 101 in the Facebook group. All right. Any questions on any of those before we dive in?
I just have one statement, because I read the post about Pages, but I didn't actually go to the website yet. So I typed it and it didn't pop up. You're missing a dot on the slide. It has to be Pages dot Child Actor 101.
Okay, I will fix that.
I just dropped it in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, I will fix that. Because I clicked on the link and I got to it, but I didn't type it right in the slide. My bad. Thank you. All right. So, ways to optimize your child's actor's access profile. There are lots of ways. For those of you who've been at this for a while, some of what I'm about to cover is going to be super, super basic. For those of you who are just starting out, I created this with you in mind, okay? Which is basically to do some level setting before we actually talk about what's going to improve your child's profile. So what is it? Actors Access is essentially one of the primary spots where auditions live. It's like a job board. It's like Indeed for regular jobs, but for acting jobs. And it has the basic free level that you don't have to pay anything for up front, includes all these things. And I'm going to let you read these to yourself, and then I'm going to expound on them a little bit. So just give me a thumbs up when you've read.
While people read, can I add something to this?
Sure.
The roll match notifications for any of the parents that are super on it only get sent out at certain times a day. So your best bet is always to actually look in the morning, because if they put it out at like 3 in the afternoon, you won't be notified until the next day. So they're cool, but a lot of times the roll match notifications are behind.
That's good. Good info to have. Thank you. Yeah. Amber always talks about like every morning you should be checking Actors Access every morning. All right. So a couple of things to note. When you have the paid version, the primary difference between the free version and the paid version is if you are self-submitting. That's when it really starts to hit your wallet. So if you have the paid version, you don't have to pay to self-submit to an audition. But if you don't have the paid version, then you have to pay $22 a minute for video and $11 a minute for voiceover recordings. So what does that mean? If there's a set of sides or script that your child needs to perform and it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, because they give you a 4-second grace period. If it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, that's going to cost you $44 to submit. So it's up to you what your wallet and your pocketbook can sustain, but I would highly recommend, if you're going to be doing a lot of self-submitting, or you think you might want to consider the annual. And I don't get any money from telling you that. I am not one of their affiliates.
I'm going to throw one more piece out there. Even if you pay, you have to pay the $22 to initially upload it.
Yeah.
So I think you might just have said that backwards a little bit then. Do you want me to clarify maybe?
So, sorry. What it is free to submit your. So if it's somebody asks you, here's what I'm needing to clarify. If somebody asks you for a submission, so you're requested, you don't have to pay for that no matter what, right? If you're uploading stuff for that audition. But you have to pay if you're self-submitting. Yes, it's going to cost you $22 per minute plus.
It actually costs you $5 unless something's changed in the last 6 months. You pay $22 to upload the footage, but then if you pay the $68 for the year, then you can self-submit for free. But if you do it single, it's $1 to just submit, but it's $5 to attach media clips. So it's possible that maybe when you were submitting, you were attaching like 4 media clips or something to get up to that.
Maybe. It gets expensive quick.
It gets expensive. Moral of the story, pay the yearly.
Yeah, it's much cheaper to pay the year. All right. And there's all these things that this is talking about. So SlateShots and size cards and resumes, which look nothing like corporate resumes. And so we're going to talk about some of those things. All right. Any questions on what you see so far? All right. So what are all these things? SlateShots, size cards, breakdowns, all the things. So let's go through. So SlateShots. How many of you have SlateShots on your child's photos already? Anyone? Yeah. Crystal says 1. Kimmy says sort of.
I sometimes do it.
Okay. And Lyric, Valerie, iPhone. Do any of you have raised, just thumbs up if you have SlateShots on your child's profiles? Okay. So after we've explained all these things, I'm actually going to show you our daughter's Actors Access page so you can see what they look like in real life. But for right now, basically what that is for anybody who's not familiar with what a slate is. So generic slate is, hi, my name is, actually usually don't start with hi, start with something else because everybody starts with hi and it's better to have a pattern interrupt at that point. Start with hello or hey or hola or something like that. Something interesting. My name is such and such. I'm this tall. I'm this old. I'm based in this location. Maybe something fun about yourself. That's a standard slate. These slates are different. You don't need to say your height. You don't need to say where you're based. Say something that makes you stand out, that's interesting, and makes you memorable. And ideally, you want your slate shot to be in the character type, especially for older kids, of the photo, right? So if you have a big bouncy commercial fun Disney photo, you don't want to give a hey, how's it going? Kind of slate shot. You want a big bouncy slate shot that matches the photo, right? And then the opposite is true. For the more chill photo, you want the more chill slate shot. Jennifer says, I've heard conflicting info on whether or not they are important. I know they bump a submission up, but I've been told that as long as you have clips, a slate shot is not needed. So my understanding of the algorithm is that profiles with slate shots appear before profiles that don't have slate shots. Amber, is that accurate from your perspective?
That is the default on Actors Access. However, casting can change it. And the vast majority of casting directors that I know change it in order of who applied. So if your agent or manager applies first, they see theirs first, whether they have a slate shot or not. Mm-hmm. If the child doesn't have any clips, no comedy clip, no drama, doesn't have a reel, then have a slate shot. Like, you want something so we can see them talk, but if you have a bunch of other clips and examples, they're less important, in my opinion.
Yep. Should you put a happy one and then also have a moody slate shot because we have a Disney happy headshot and also a scary movie headshot also? Yeah, you want the slate shot to match the mood of the picture, basically.
And right, avoid saying the child's age or height because that changes.
Yeah. Because if you did a slate shot, for example, in January, and they've grown 6 inches by the end of the year, then now your slate shot is lying. So don't do that to yourself. All right. Size card. So this is where you're making wardrobe happy that you have been mom extraordinaire or dad or parent extraordinaire, and made their life easy and keeping up to date all of their sizes. So their shoe size, their pant size, their shirt size. It even includes their hat and their glove size, their weight, height, all the things. It just makes their life a lot easier. So keep it updated. One thing that I have heard annoys casting directors, I've heard a number of them say, is when your size card says you're this tall and you've grown 6 inches and you show up and you're this tall, or your slate says that you're this tall, because they were looking for somebody this height for a reason. So don't lie about how tall your kid is or forget to update it when they've had a growth spurt, kind of thing. It's not going to help you. All right. And then breakdowns in general are basically the breaking down of what is the role, right? What are the characteristics we're looking for in this role? Any distinguishing explanatory information about who the character is and where they are, how they relate to any of the other characters, etc. It also tells you where it's being shot or when, sometimes, who's on the production team. All of those things are included in the breakdown. All right, any questions on any of these things? Okay. So now, sides, that's your script, right? And Amber, I'm curious, do you know why they call them sides? Is it because we write in the sides?
I do not. I just know that they're a piece of the script. That's the lingo.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. Like, why do they call it that? C-mail. So C-mail is one of the happy instances we get as parents. Like, yay, you got a C-mail! Ah! Which is basically that Actors Access, somebody in Actors Access or related to Actors Access, could be your agent, your manager, but usually it's because somebody has asked you for an audition, or your child. And so you want to make sure that the email address coming out of Actors Access is in your safe and trusted senders list, so that it doesn't end up in spam or junk or trash or someplace else, because that would be a tragedy if you missed it. And it's funny because, well, I'll tell you this from our experience, our agent always tells us, hey, I sent you a C-mail, so to make sure that we go look for it. And oftentimes her email comes well before the C-mail actually arrives in my inbox. So because she tells me that, I can just go straight to Actors Access and look for it and start and, accept the audition or decline the audition faster than if not. So if your agent is like seemingly annoyed with you for some reason that you don't seem to be responding quickly enough, you might want to ask them, when did they send the audition request to you? And then check when did it arrive in your inbox, because there might be a delay. And so you can tell them, hey, it took 2 hours for me to receive it. So can you just let me know? I'll happily respond faster. I just need to know. All right. Callbacks. That's one of the golden moments in this industry, right? Is your child audition for something and then they get asked to come back. This could be via a Zoom call. It could be, theoretically, it could be live, although that doesn't happen as much, certainly nowadays, as it used to. And it can be through what's called an EcoCast, which we'll talk about in a second. So there's EcoCast self-tapes, which is when you're being requested to tape sides and submit them. And then there's EcoCast Lives. And an EcoCast Live is basically a Zoom call done through the Actors Access platform. So it gets recorded and then it gets added to your file. And it makes it easier for the casting team, basically. Any questions on either of those? We were getting like 10 emails for auditions a week throughout May, and then a few callbacks and put on hold, then released last minute, and then complete silence in June. I'm wondering why so much, and now none. Did we do something to make the agent mad? I'm wondering what happened. Oh, no, that's not what happened. So, Amber, happy to have you weigh in on this as well. But one of the things that happened is, certainly from our experience, we've noticed that May and the very beginning of June can be very busy because everybody's like, oh, the kids are out of school soon and we need them on set. So we're going to audition all the kid roles now. And so it gets super, super busy. That's always a very busy time. And then they've kind of figured it out, who they needed, and they're done. So that's why it gets quiet again. Anything you'd add to that, Amber?
Yes, December and June are the slowest months in the acting world in general. And there are things filming in June. I have like 3 or 4 students on set this week. It doesn't mean there aren't projects, but there are less. A lot of things have finished casting by now. Mm-hmm. And back in the day when we had pilot seasons and the New York upfronts were a big thing, they all made their choices before June. So that's been the trend for so long that June stays historically a little slow. And because of that, a lot of agents go on vacation in June. A lot of them.
Yes.
I go on vacation in June for that reason.
And I'll add an addendum to that. It is a great time to send your kid to camp. Because the likelihood of it getting interrupted or having to be canceled is lower than it might be otherwise. So, like our daughter is at a 3-week intensive right now. So,
after the 4th of July, get the kids back. July is busy.
Yes, exactly. All right. And then Talent Link. So I like to think of it as there are 3 primary ways to get an agent. One of them is this. Talent Link, where you can submit your child's materials, and periodically there are some agents, some managers who will go in there and look for talent to fill out their rosters. Do all agents and managers do it? No. Do all agencies do it? No. And in some agencies, it's like they ask the lowest person on the totem pole to do it, but then if they see something promising, they'll pop it up to somebody who's a little bit higher up in the agency. Some don't even bother because they have full rosters and that's not how they get their talent. They only take talent by referral, that kind of thing. And if you don't have representation and you want to explore that, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to submit to the Child Actor 101 open casting call. And Corey actually just sent out an email not too long ago about that he's going to have one coming up. Right now, it still has the dates for last year because all submission materials were due like November 10th or something like that. But last I spoke to him, he said he was going to do it the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, where he was going to have people submit. And what that entails is you collect your child's headshots, any demo reels or clips that they might have, their acting resume, which you can use the resume builder to help you build it, and you submit them all to a link that Corey provides. And then he assembles all that and he informs his network of agents and managers that those are available and that they can go through those at their leisure. And if they're trying to fill out their roster, they might decide that your child is one of the people that they want to entertain. So that's another way. And then the other is just direct submission. Go directly to the agent or manager's website. You see what their submission requirements are, and then you follow directions to the T. question. Melissa, you have a question? Nope, just your square lit up. Okay. All right. So in Actors Access, here is what casting is seeing. This is an example. You can see this too. If you go into Actors Access, there's a part that's like, it's called support or something like that. And it'll show you, it gives you all these articles that talk about how Actors Access works. But I just want to give you a sense of what it is that you're up against. So I have blown these pictures way up, but they are usually not this big. When somebody is looking at them, they're smaller, they're thumbnails, which is partially why your child's headshot is so important, because it's tiny and it needs to grab somebody's attention in comparison to all these other little headshots that are on the screen in front of them. And then you have these little icons, and I'll show you. So basically, these tell the casting director whether you have all these things, whether your profile is complete or not. Right? And so if you don't have them, apparently all of these gentlemen do. But if you didn't, one of them would be grayed out. Okay? And so like if they didn't have SlateShots, that part would be grayed out. And then I want to just point out something here that I learned from Amber. See this red text here on the right? So I'll show you later, I'll show you where that appears, because you want to make it something that's eye-catching. You don't want to make it something generic that isn't going to grab people's attention. And we'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Any questions about anything else you see on here, or Amber, anything you want to point out for folks?
Only the casting sees this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's how they sort your kids' pictures. Sometimes they do it by age, sometimes they do it by who has the best look, sometimes they do it by different ethnicities. You don't need to worry about that. It doesn't affect anything you ever see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Any questions? Okay, so how do we make sure that we have the best possible profile for our kids? What should we include, and what constitutes a quote-unquote complete profile? So accurate, up-to-date headshots, right? Your child should look like their headshot, because if they don't, then somebody's going to be upset when they walk in the door and like, wait, I thought we had this kid, right? Or they choose your headshot and they look at your demo reel and those both look the same, but you've since gotten braces, taken braces off, gotten a massive haircut, whatever it is, or your child has. And in your self-tape, you don't look anything like your headshots. It's like, we wanted them because they had that look, and now they don't have that look. That's not good. Okay? Then SlateShots, which we've talked about. Demo reel and or clips. So for those of you who are just starting out and you don't have demo reels or clips, there's a couple ways that you can get footage that you can upload. One is you can just go out and pay for it, right? There are schools, or not schools really, but vendors who will write scenes for you, for your child, and they can act them out, and then they put them all together and create a full clip for you or a full demo reel. Those can get somewhat pricey depending on what your budget is. The ones around where we are, it's like they'll do, I think it's like $2,500 to do a demo reel, and they're actually charging 2 people that because they have 2 people in the scene and each one is getting the demo reel, but they're both paying that same price. And the reason behind why it gets expensive is because they're doing professional level production. So they've got sound people, they've got lighting people, they've got camera people. And they've got a set that they've got to work off of. So it's not a cheap endeavor. They have to pay all those people, right? Easier way, 2 easier ways, is have them take a class that says that they're going to get a demo reel at the end of it. Right? Now you want to do your research to make sure that it's going to be a decent demo reel, like ask for samples so you can check and see, is it suitable? Opportunity. And then another is for some of the classes that they might be taking, they might be filming self-tapes. And those, in a pinch, you can start by using those self-tapes as well. If they're really good good. You should keep this. You should use this as a clip, a comedy clip or something like that. And then the other is, yes, to do anything you self-submit for, like student films, short films, if you have a local commercial, anything that you can get footage from that showcases your child well, and it's quality footage, you can use that. Yeah, just like Amber says, her best moments. And your child's demo reel should start on them. So don't start on some other character and then they have to figure out like whose demo clip is this if there's like two little girls in the scene kind of thing. You want them to be very focused on this is your child and this is their acting clip or acting demo reel. That was a lot. Amber, anything you would add to that?
Yes, if you're doing it in a class setting, or if you're paying somewhere to do it and tape it for you and you get to pick the other actor, don't have them the same age or ethnicity as your child. So many kids will be like, oh, well, my friend will do it. Okay, well, they're both 12-year-old brunettes. It's hard to tell them apart. Yes, you can easily, but a casting director that has just looked at 300 headshots of 12-year-old brunettes, it's a lot harder to tell. I even, in one of the last like parent roadmap things, which is kind of similar to this that I taught, there was a kid that I met that I had worked with like 2, 3 years prior. I had actually worked with this child, and his mom showed me an updated demo reel, and I couldn't tell which kid he was because I hadn't seen him in 3 years. Like that's how much he had grown and changed and looked similar to the other person.
Yeah.
So try to be opposite an adult or different ethnicity or boy, girl, whenever possible.
Yeah. Any questions about demo reels or clips? All right. And so, yes, iPhone, definitely go ahead. Use the pieces from the short film if you can get them. All right. Prior roles. So this is where it's going to deviate from what you might be used to in the working world. One, there's no dates. So you don't need to put anything in chronological order. You put it in order of importance. So the more impressive the role, that goes at the top. The less impressive, down towards the bottom of the section. And like I said, I'm going to show you a section in a little bit. And those can be theatrical as well as film, TV. Any additional skills? And I'll show you those too. There's a couple ways to showcase your additional skills. There's a page in Actors Access where you just click a whole bunch of boxes. They can do all these things. And that appears in a great big huge block of text at the bottom of your child's profile. But if there are specific skills that you want to highlight, I'm going to show you a way to make those stand out a little more clearly and make it easier for the casting team to really absorb what your child's capable of. You also can put awards in that section too. And then last but not least, because I promised you 5, but I'm giving you 6, you really want to have that updated size card so you don't get people upset. All right, so now let's take a look. I'm going to show you our daughters. I'm going to get out of this for a second. And got a lot of windows open. Hold on. Please hold. There we go. Click, click, click. And if anybody has any questions unrelated to Actors Access, feel free to.
In the meantime, I can answer anything, and I'm going to
Yeah.
drop a code for discounts on classes in the chat.
Yay, here we go.
You mentioned listing skills, and on Actors Access, underneath like hit the productions and stuff, I listed like his main skills. I actually created like a separate section, and I put skills, and then I listed it under there, so it kind of pops out a little bit when you're going. So I figured maybe that was a good idea, but I don't know. It's just something I came up with.
It is a good idea to do that. You also still want to make sure you check the boxes because sometimes casting will look for something in there specifically, and they can search it based on a special skill.
I checked all the boxes too, just in case, but I figured like the things that he is the best at, maybe put under there and just kind of make them go boom, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Casting.
And you'll see that Evie's does that too, Kimmy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are Evie's headshots. I'm going to play you just a couple of slates so you can see what we mean about the mood matching, right?
Hello, new friends. My name's Evelyn Brunel, and I love to sing.
Okay. So that's her like happy preppy one. And then
Hey everyone, I'm Evelyn Brunel. How many of these have you watched today? Because if it's over 50, you should probably take a break.
right? And there's a wide variety. I'm not going to go through all of them today. You'll notice this one, I don't have one because this picture, more this picture. So why bother, right? Versus this one.
Hey everyone, Evelyn Brunel here to personally wish you an amazing day.
Okay. So they're just to get a sense of who your child is, basically. And then your media would go behind that, right? Any clips you might have, a comedy clip, a drama clip, a reel, singing, etc. And then if they have representation, you're going to include that. Any roles they've had, you start with whatever the name of it was, what the role was, and then who it was with, either the production team or the director, or both. This one, I'm lazy and I don't like things when they're just one. Amber would probably tell me to take these apart and put a commercial in one section and the TV episode in another section. Maybe I'll do that tonight and be good, Amber. And when you're doing commercials, you actually don't necessarily want to list your commercials. You might want to put commercials available upon request, because, for instance, let's say you did an Adidas ad like 4 years ago, and you're currently auditioning for a Nike ad. Nike might look and be like, oh no, they have an Adidas commercial. I don't want them to be a Nike kid. But they don't know that the Adidas commercial ran 4 years ago. It's done. It's not going to run anymore. Nobody's seen it for ages, et cetera, et cetera. But they don't want to take that risk. They don't like that. So it's better if you just say available upon request. And then if there's any conflicts like that, that can be worked out between your agent and whoever's asking you for it. I'm going to pause there. Anything you would add so far, Amber?
Yes, I'll drop this in the chat for anybody that wants to click on it. This is a student of mine that I was actually I work with him every week. I worked with him right before this class. He has been my student for like 6 years. I mean, a very long time. If you look at his commercials, he has done an insane amount. He recently joined SAG because of a project last year, but his commercials, how like Evie's is the name of it and then lead and then what it is on the far right side. If your child ends up getting a bunch of commercials and you get on a roll, this matters more in a smaller market. Like this child lives in Florida that I just dropped in there.
Yep.
His commercial thing was like so incredibly long. We shortened it. So just each one of these is a different commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has just like an insane amount. Now, when your kid doesn't have other film and TV credits, but they have done a few commercials, it's good to have it on there to show that they've been on set, especially if you don't have reps, and then let your reps decide from there on. In this case, his reps are like, he's done so many commercials, we want to highlight that because now he just direct books a lot of commercials.
That's nice.
So it has its perks.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Can you see his thing now?
Yeah, we can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And see how he's done the same thing. He's pulled out his special skills and put them up here.
Yeah.
Right. And then one of his parents has put some other interesting things about him. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Takes direction well, can memorize, loves being on set. Right. Riding a bike is a significant one. We actually, some of you, I might have told the story too. We were on set once and a child got let go for a couple reasons, but one of them was because they had said they could ride a bike and or their parent had said they could ride a bike, and they could, but only if it had training wheels. So there's a little bit of a miscommunication there. Like they didn't ask without training wheels, but there was a significant scene where they needed to be riding a bike without training wheels. And so that child got replaced because they needed that so much. It was an integral part of the movie. All right. And then this is where, when you check all those little boxes, this is where all those skills are going to show up. All right. Let me, and there's one more thing I want to show you. If you go into those additional skills, if your child is winning awards, that's also where you can put. You can mention those. Or if they're a singer, you can put their vocal range in there. Or if they've been studying something for an extended period of time that you want to highlight, you can add those as well. Okay. Any questions about any of that?
A lot of people make awards a separate header too.
It just feels like full of it to me.
It depends how much attention you want to bring to them. And let's say it's a huge award, like Emmy nominated project or something like that. A lot of times they'll just add an extra line under TV and put asterisks by it.
Yep, that works. All right.
I did the same thing. Like Nolan had done so many commercials because he started at 4, and it was just an overwhelming amount. And for a couple years, that's what I had on his resume, was like basically like 50 commercials, because we were just, self-submitting. He was on set constantly. And then all of a sudden I see people and they're like, don't list commercials. And I'm like, what? Is this a thing? But then, now I don't have him on there because he has film and he has other things and stuff like that. But for a while I was kind of like, should I list it? Because we were still building that resume,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So makes sense.
I love it. All right. So now we're to our open Q&A portion. So what questions do you have? And they don't have to be about Actors Access. They can be, but if they're about anything in this journey that you're on, feel free to ask. How old is your daughter? Well, she's probably not going to get cast for 12 years old anymore unless it's a seated role. And and if she's wanting to go to Broadway, she's not going to get cast as a child. I can tell you that, because children, they want them to be 4'8" or shorter, and that's mostly because of costumes. I love Zendaya. Yes. Crystal, did I see? Sorry, go ahead, Amber.
Oh, I was just going to say it's not impossible, but it is less likely, even 18 to play younger, because I auditioned for 16 till I was 25. And the cutoff in a bunch of the breakdowns for 18, 19, 20-year-olds is 5'4" or 5'5". So in their minds, if you're over 5'5", you don't look like you're in high school unless you're being the tall kid, the model. Those definitely exist. One of my students years ago, I had an audition for a Disney show. I forget which one, but the lead, the series regular person, was having a nightmare that they woke up and they were like short. And so the entire episode was just a bunch of tall people. They were only casting actors over 5'9", and they were hoping for 13, 14-year-olds that were tall. It happens. It's wanted. It's just less common.
Yeah. And so, no, it's not that she would have to play adults, because they will cast an 18-year-old to play younger before they would cast your 14-year-old. And partially that's because the 18-year-old can be on set for longer, and it's not required to get them a teacher on set, versus a 14-year-old can't work as many hours, and it's required that they would have a teacher in most states, and certainly for anything SAG. You're in the wrong industry, Jeanette. I love it. Yeah. All right. Crystal, it looked like you were unmuting before. Did you have a question? No? Okay. Yeah, 14 and 5'6". Yeah.
I mean, mine looks like he's 11. He's 8. So it's like we're gonna definitely hit that zone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing.
Yep.
So yes, it might pick up for her when she's 18, iPhone. And that doesn't mean she won't get anything, because there are roles that it won't matter what her height is because she's seated, or because the view of her is only here up. Um, the other thing is that now is then a perfect time for her to hone her skills. And so if she's working on her acting skills consistently from now until she's 18, she's going to be way far ahead of all the 18-year-olds who all of a sudden decided that they wanted to become an actor and they don't have the skills or the training. So if she loves it, have her keep at it. Have her keep practicing. Oh
I
yeah.
hope that's what, helps us is his resume when he
Yeah.
gets older, because he's going to be so tall. So that's he's 8, but the last 2 productions, it was a 10-year-old. So he is booking older,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, which to me, he doesn't sound or act 10 at all. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
So, Lyric, let me see if I understand your question correctly. You have one daughter who just started last year. She's got an agent for musical theater and voiceover and a local agent for commercial. So, do neither of them already do film?
Yeah, chances are somewhere like Stewart, even if they only signed her for musical theater and voiceover, just because I know that's an agency that like often does that.
Yep.
Okay, if they wouldn't sign her for it, then she's not ready for it, or they have conflicts on their roster. And if she's not ready for it, it will often mean, okay, yeah, DDO also does this a lot. It means they aren't ready. It means they need more training.
So, you want to get her into class.
Yeah. Or you go with a different agency that has a much smaller roster and needs someone that has her look.
Yeah.
Now, what you have to be careful of, and just not careful, but just aware of, let's say she signs with a smaller, more boutique agency that doesn't have anyone like her. They may say, hey, I want her for musical theater as well. And that's stepping on DDO's toes. So you just have to tell them that hey, we're already signed with someone for that. We only want you for TV film, or we want you for TV film commercial. Or you make the call at the time and say, hey, DDO, it's been great, but we're going to leave before we officially sign with someone else. But you shouldn't pursue somewhere else while you're still signed with someone for the same category.
Yeah. That doesn't make people happy. Yeah. So, if you want to stay with DDO for those two, you just have to be really clear with whoever you engage for the other. And Lyric, how old is your child?
I'm guessing if she's repping me. Yeah, I was just going to say she's 8 or 9.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So you still have time too. She hasn't hit, I mean, 8 is a great age, but like that 10, 11, 12, she's going to be really busy if she keeps practicing, keeps learning, keeps training. She's going to start surpassing her peers. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And Jennifer, you had a comment before. For season 2 is now taller than the TV mom. Yep. And then they just seat them. It's like, we need the face. We're going to change the height. All right. Other questions? Things
I just
people are wondering.
I wanted to expound on
Sure.
the my 8-year-old. So it kind of was like a whirlwind. She just decided she wanted to do it, and Dido signed her like immediately for musical theater. She's had 3 callbacks for Broadway tours,
Yep.
and done really well, gotten to finals, and just not been the one.
Uh-huh.
But so we started doing film just this year,
Uh-huh.
and she's booked local like very quickly, just short films. And so we've done some of them. Some of them haven't happened yet, but so she doesn't have a reel to submit to anybody.
Okay.
So how do I say, like, what do I show? I have like some that she's done with her acting coach and stuff, but I don't know if that's good enough for
an agent.
that. And we're in Florida, and she's with the LA DDO team, which they won't sign her commercial because we're not local
Yep.
there at all.
How's your relationship with your rep at DDO?
I only talk to her, like, talk to them sometimes. Like, they send her stuff all the time. If I ask questions, they don't really respond to me that much, so I don't ask anymore.
Okay. I was going to say, if you had a really good relationship, you could share those self tapes and ask their perspective and opinion as to whether they were good or not. Corey will do that. He'll evaluate self tapes for, he charges a fee. I don't know what it is. Amber, I think you do that too, no?
Yep, all our coaches do it. And this Saturday we have our parent roadmap class. So I put a discount code in the chat. I'll do it with the discount code. The class is $10. So you're probably not going to find a coach to do it for that.
Yeah,
price.
you won't. I highly suggest you go to that class.
So I'd recommend going to that class for that. The other thing that you honestly, like, if they're good, I'll tell you to just reach out to McKenna or Alicia or whoever it is, because that LA office works as a team. I work with them a lot. We do a showcase every year that I put in there. And usually I'd say, hey, go to the showcase, but DDO is going to be there. We're bringing like 14 people, but DDO is one of them. But if DDO believes in your child and they're not there yet and you like them for everything else, it just means that the tapes aren't strong enough yet. And I hate to say it, but I've seen coaches lie. I had a student that I started working with just 3 weeks ago, and I gave them a script and I was like, hey, you need to do these fundamental worksheets. You need to tape this scene. We're going to use this to submit to agents. Well, they had like one coaching left with a different coach. So they did the scene that I gave them, and they did it with that other coach. And the coach told them that this was great and go ahead and submit to this agency, this agency, this agency. And they're like, all the agents said no, and they sent me the tape, and I was like, this isn't good. And they're like, the other coach said it was great. I was like, they're lying.
Or they're like, I'm just ignorant.
Yeah, I was like, I am a strict coach, but like it was in the proper self-tape setup and everything, but you couldn't even understand all the kids' words.
Oh.
Like, I was like, you just shot yourself in the foot for the next 6 months with those agents is what you did.
Oh.
So you don't want to submit anything that's not ready.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when we do, I think most people here are repped, but when we do our showcase, we coach for 2 weeks on whatever they're performing for the agents. And if the kid's not ready, we don't let them do it. So that's why we have such a high success rate. And we'll tell the parents, hey, they're not ready. And we'll tell you it. If it's on our end, we'll tell you and we'll give you your money back. Most of the time, it's that the kid's not prepared or didn't show up with the script.
Okay.
That's real. Does that help, Lyric?
Yeah. I'm on my Zoom shows up as my older daughter. So my older daughter signed with a different agency. She signed with MSA. It's very complicated because they are on like different coasts and stuff.
Okay.
But her name is Lyric. My name is not Lyric.
And your older daughter dances? Is that why she's with MSA?
No, she's signed for just everything else. She dances a little bit, but she's not like a dancer per anybody's standards, really.
Got it. That's just like what MSA is known for. That's why.
Yeah.
She's just signed for everything else in general.
Yeah, they're still good. So
I want to back up to iPhone's point about your 5'7", 14-year-old wanting to do musical theater. So if you're asking the agent to start submitting her for that, it's possible that she could get regional roles, but at that height, she's not going to be cast as a child on Broadway. Like, it's highly, highly unlikely. So, yeah, if you have like local regional theaters, there are equity theaters near you, they're not going to have as stringent of height restrictions. So it would be worth it for that if you want to do that. If that's an option, you might not live someplace where they have regional equity theaters. I don't know. but you don't need to worry, or I guess trouble yourself to worry about Broadway or national tours for that.
A lot of agents also don't submit to musical theater.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's possible that your agent doesn't even have that department.
Yeah, that's a great point too. All right. Any other questions? Melissa, you've been awfully quiet. Anything you're wondering?
Sorry, I'm trying to wash my younger one in the pool. It was like a last minute
fun.
thing, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to hear all your advice.
Alexa, stop. Sorry.
No, she's with Nouveau. She's been doing it since she was 3. She's
Aw.
only done, I mean, she's 6 now. She went for 3. They kept sending her for interviews with JGD,
Uh-huh.
Jordan Gill and Dunham. She went for an interview last week and they signed her also. And the auditions are just like flowing in, and she's doing an amazing job, and she's getting tons of callbacks, tons of like on holds and not landing anything. So she's 6 and she's not let down by it at all.
Good.
But it's been hard on mommy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just hide that part from her.
I
she doesn't
know.
absorb it. Yeah.
So any advice for me as far as like keep going?
Has she, so I think you said she's had callbacks?
She's gotten 6 callbacks in the past year, I'd say.
Okay. How's she doing in
Just
her callbacks?
pretty well. The last callback, I didn't get to go in. That was the first one in person.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to go in with her, so I don't know as far as how it went. But when she does it via Zoom, she does pretty well. And what was I going to say? And I don't know. She seems to be doing well. She's been on hold 3 times, but hasn't made it past the hold. She
Okay.
did 1 Verizon commercial. She's done 1 movie.
Okay. So
But-
that tells me, and Amber, feel free to chime in on this, but that tells me that she's got the chops. she's got a look and she's got the capabilities, because otherwise, A, she wouldn't have gotten those jobs and she wouldn't be getting all these callbacks if they didn't think she could do it. So the reason she might not be getting the actual jobs could be something that's completely out of your control. Like,
right.
she's taller than the other kid. She's shorter than the other kid. She's the wrong skin complexion, wrong hair color. She doesn't look like the mom, doesn't look like the dad, doesn't look like the dog, whatever.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
All the things. So if I were you, I would rejoice wildly that she is getting as many moments as she is. Honestly, like you are winning, Mom.
I know, and I know everyone says that. It's just like, when life is so busy, and like she became, she joined the competition dance team, and she's in the studio 5 days a week, and she's only 6, and it's like I question whether like I'm doing the right thing. She loves it, and she has no understanding. I don't think that like these auditions lead to something more. She just loves doing the audition.
Well, that's great.
So I keep questioning myself, like, is this just too much for a 6-year-old? I know she loves it. I have no experience in this field whatsoever.
So in our house, we have a standing ritual, which is after every audition, after every performance, after anything that has to do with this business. Was that fun? And if the answer is a resounding yes, then we keep going.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, because if the answer is no, then, and you start to get consistent no's, because you can get a no like, okay, that one wasn't fun, but I was tired, or I was hungry, or whatever. So I was having a bad day. One-offs here and there, okay, fine. But if you start to hear consistently, or they're what's the word? Not resenting, but resisting. Doing the audition, or don't want to go to the callback, or do I have to? Right? Then that's something else, and you want to listen to your kid. But from the sound of it, you said she loves it. So
yeah, she never says no. She never, ever. I mean, so far we've been doing great on that.
Awesome. So let her keep having fun.
Okay. I just needed to hear from like somebody that's in the, has the experience. Like, we're doing the right thing. Just keep going as long as she's enjoying it.
As long as she's enjoying it. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep
One
going.
One little thing I'll add to that is a lot of times it's their look that's taking them far, their personality that's taking them far. If
Hmm.
she's getting a lot of callbacks for commercials,
Yes.
sometimes, and what I notice is usually the other than look, the
Hmm.
biggest reason that kids don't book it is prop handling. A lot of kids haven't learned that skill. So
What would
take a look at
that
that.
what would that be considered?
So
Like
like if
depending
she
on what the
just
commercial's
eat or
for.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because sometimes commercials just need the kids to run around and laugh and be cute, or they
Yeah,
need to like sit at the airport and smile. Sometimes
right.
there's not a lot to the commercial, and other times it's like, this is my favorite. And you need to hold it up with the product showing.
Got
Or
it.
even if she's playing Barbies, a lot of kids will play down here and not up where we can see them, or they'll like,
Got
as
it.
silly as it sounds, hold the stuffed animal incorrectly.
Got
That
it.
Right.
kind of stuff.
Or like
Okay.
if Amber had held that and Coca-Cola was not facing the camera and we were instead reading the ingredients, that's improper prop handling. Yeah. That's
Wow.
not Coca-Cola, right? That's
Interesting. Thank
just,
you.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny that you say that because that's like my forte, because I guess as a photographer, I notice that stuff constantly. So anytime he's done things with props, I'm always like, you've got to hold it here. Or I'll be like, you're looking down too much. You've got to, but I think it must be because that's my profession.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
it's easy for me to see that stuff, you know.
We call that forehead TV or
Yeah.
scalp TV, right? When they're doing something down here, or cheek TV if they turn to. It was like, no, we don't need cheek TV. So that could be part of it. The other thing too is that they should be smiling
Hmm.
when they're saying the name of the product,
Got
right?
it.
If it's like I use this, not oh I use this.
You're right.
There's a difference, right? Yes, it is like a full-time job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's fun, but it is a full-time job.
It is a full-time job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
But it is
going. My daughter
exciting.
started at 8 and we then took a break and I can see a lot of the kids that were starting when we did all did well by not giving up. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Jeanette, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say she's 6. Like she's
Yeah.
got,
Fine.
I like my son started when he was 5 and then he was signed at 6. And my husband and I just made sure that we always kept it fun. Like he had no idea it was work. He had no idea he was earning money. He had no idea he was paying us back. Like, but it was always fun. And at 3 years old, he thought he had a YouTube channel and he was like and subscribe because he loved it. And she's there's no pressure to be put on her. If she's having fun, then she's doing what she needs to do. And like we kind of treat it like it's any other activity. Yes, it's a career, possibly for him as he gets older, but we always treat it like another activity, like taekwondo or golf, like any other activity that as long as he keeps enjoying it. And yes, he's gonna have bad days. Well, he'll say, "Mom, I don't want to go to taekwondo," or "I don't want to do self-tape." Well,
Yep.
no, you know what? You committed to it. You need to do this. And we put as much pressure on him for acting as we do for golf or taekwondo or anything else that he does. It's always got to be fun. And
Right.
like Christina said, once there's consistent no's, then it's like, oh, we need to look at this then. Maybe he
Right.
really doesn't like it. So good for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
You're in a
you.
good spot, Melissa.
Thank you. Random question, which
Sure.
I don't know. We're at, the 6-year-old and she's starting to lose teeth now.
Mm,
And it's giving mommy a lot of anxiety. Her front tooth is like hanging by a thread, but she's had so many auditions this week that
mhm.
I'm like, you cannot like take it out. like, like what? Any
Yeah,
advice as far as like when they do start losing those like prominent like front teeth?
sure. So I can't help but think was it Drew Barrymore that was in E.T.?
Yeah.
Yes. There's a
Yeah.
great clip. You gotta search it on YouTube where she's
Okay.
talking to Johnny Carson and he's chatting away with her and then she's like, "Can I take this thing out?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, she grabs her flipper and she takes it out and she puts it on his desk.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like, "My mom told me not to take it out, but it's much easier without it," or
I
something
can
like that.
imagine.
Yeah. So you could get her the flipper, is what they call
Okay.
it. And there are people who are going to cast her because she's so cute because she's missing her teeth.
Right.
So, you know, it's only temporary. I mean, they're
And
going to
then
come
when
back.
they start to come in, that's my other concern. Like, if like, do kids miss out on opportunities
No,
because?
don't worry about it. Honestly,
Okay.
my kid lost teeth for 2 years
Okay.
and he's still booked. He had
Yeah.
his teeth pulled. He was missing all kinds of teeth when he was 7. They were coming in, they were coming out. He booked more with missing teeth, to be honest.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go pull that one out now then.
Well, I will say, and to be the devil's advocate on both sides of that, if you audition with a tooth and then lose the tooth before a shoot, you can lose the job.
Oh God.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't pull it out, but when it falls out, no stress.
Okay.
And on occasion, casting will put no kids with missing teeth, but it's maybe
Rare.
15% of the time. And in that case, you get the audition, you see that, you tell the agent, hey, she's missing a tooth, and then you get a day off of auditions and you get to go to the pool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. One less tape to edit.
Thank you. I know, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yay. All right. So not Lyric, because I think you said that was your eldest daughter's name. Ms. Carden. Any advice for a 13-year-old who's 5 foot but looks teen, not younger? Can you age her down at all? Like if you put her in pigtails, does she look younger? And I would keep her out of makeup.
So whenever parents tell me that, I don't know you, I haven't seen your child. I'm going to tell you it's more than likely the kid that is pushing back. Every single time parents have told me that their kid doesn't really look younger, it's because the kid doesn't want to look younger.
Mm.
Now, I've never seen your child. I can't know if that's true, but a lot of times when the kids are pushing back, I don't want to wear the overalls. I don't want to do this. Well, then they don't want to do that job enough, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. I remember that's a really good point, Amber, because I remember one time when Evie, so it was some character, and we determined she needed pigtails because of the age and whatnot, and she's like, "No, I don't want to." And I'm like, "Just let me put them in you, and you'll see how cute you look." And then we put them in her, and she was like, "Oh, oh gosh, yeah." It was fine, and she actually got that role. The other option you can do is the two little, the tiny pigtails up top. Like it's like I can't do it here, but like basically I pull a part down to her ear, and I take all this hair and I pull it back, and yeah, exactly. Amber's doing a better job than I am. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then they look younger, but it's not like full on pigtails kind of thing. So that's an option as well. And then no makeup, because the makeup is what ages them more than anything. Oh, and the other thing that ages them is layering their hair. So layers age a face no matter what. But if it's all one length, they'll look younger.
And longer hair looks younger unless you're the little Hershey girl with the bangs.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, she might have just gotten to the point where she's going to get teen auditions. Yeah.
She is 13, so that's not unheard of. And she might get roles that are 12 to 14, and a lot of 13-year-olds don't look 10, and that's fine. She's never going to look 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say, and again, I don't know your child, so this totally might not be your child, but I've also had preteens lie to me and their parents. Like, I'll get on a Zoom and they're like, she's ready to go, no makeup. I'm like, she's wearing eyeliner. And she's like, oh, I just put it on last night. I pretty much, it's all off by now because they want to be older. And sometimes that's just a 13-year-old thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be a baby.
Not often, but I've had it happen.
Yeah.
Well, I got professional photos for the first time with Nolan, and then he decided he didn't want long hair anymore. So that was fun.
I saw that. Give me my heart broke for you. I was like, oh my gosh, you just had all those great photos taken, and
I
now you
know.
want to chop
And
his hair off.
I was so upset, but like, not really upset, but just like, well, what do I do now? And I don't know, his team's just kind of like, oh, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, oh, but we just got these because I've always taken his photos. And I'm like, we just got all these photos, but I don't want to tell, like, I try really hard not to tell him, oh, you can't do this because you're an actor.
Yep.
Like, oh, you can't cut your hair off. I know you're burning up when it's 100 degrees here in Georgia, but you can't cut your hair because you just had
Because we just
headshot.
spent this much money on photos. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I try to let him still make those decisions, and he just doesn't want the longer hair anymore. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to go and take some photos myself, I guess.
Yep.
Save the photos. It might grow out quick.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could,
Don't
but
lose
he's
the
going to
photos.
complain about it again and want to.
Oy. All right. So I promised y'all, for anybody who's seen it, how do you go find Corey's posts with all those resources? So if you go to the top of Child Actor 101 and click on the featured tab, it will show up um, as one. You just have to scroll down a little bit until you get to May 5th. And he has this whole infographic that tells you about all the different resources that he's built for folks. And with that, the next time we're going to meet is, no, wait, that's wrong. That should say the 25th. That was today. The next time is July 2nd. And I purposely chose, so normally we do Fridays at noon and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. But because next Friday is the holiday weekend and the 4th of July is the next day, I figured it might be easier if we moved it up a little bit. So it'll be on the 2nd at noon. And with that, thank you for coming. If anybody has any questions you want to hang out, I'm good for another little bit. So I'm not shooing you out by any means. Feel free to stay if you have more you want to discuss.
Same
Sorry,
here.
Christine, I did have a question. Oh, sorry, Amber. Okay.
I just said
You
same
were
on
you
Hagen.
were oh,
Say it again, Amber.
okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay. You were earlier you're going to show us where on Actors Access where we can put that little blurb that stood out in
Oh.
the red. Yes.
Yes, I can show you that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. So whatever you put in this box, they're going to see the first few words of that.
That's actually incorrect.
No?
That's
Is that
incorrect.
what feeds it? What
Nope,
feeds
you're
it then?
close. You're close. It's the submission notes. So
Oh, I
for
always
each,
thought it was coming from here.
no, it's never coming from there. No.
Ah, okay, my bad. See,
No,
every day
so
we learn something new here.
it comes and I actually I'll share something I learned today. Well, wait, did I already say about the Phi Core thing or no? I told like 3 people already.
No.
Did I say that's okay?
No, you haven't.
Sorry, it was big news to me today, like 3 hours ago, and I called like 2 of my friends. I was like, "Did you know this?" Because I just learned something in a workshop with the casting director today, and I've been doing this for a really long time. So to answer this question first, when
Okay.
you are self-submitting your child or when your agent is submitting your child, there's that little box that says submission notes. That's where that red stuff goes. Many parents make the mistake of saying, I don't want to pay for a reel. I'm going to put a YouTube link. Unless your child is the perfect match for somebody, casting is not copying and pasting that YouTube link. And it's also technically against the breakdown rules. Nobody really cares. You're never going to get in trouble for it. But like in the example, it said like amazing actor was just on This Is Us. And the one that Christina showed us earlier. But what you want to do instead of amazing actor first, that's coming from an agent, like a rep put that note. So if a rep says that, it means more than if a parent says that. For you as a parent, if the note says like must be local hire to North Carolina or needs swimming experience, your first words should be like swims underwater, no goggles, because we only see those beginning of characters. We don't want to say our son is a fish. He loves the pool and spends every summer. It's not that. I know that's the professional in you. Like so many of you guys are professional, awesome women that work in corporate America. This is not the time for that. This is like local hire, can burp on command, plays soccer, 5 years. Like we want those almost bullet notes listing because you only get a little bit, and if that little bit grabs their attention, then we can scroll our mouse over it as casting and see more.
Okay, so I have clicked on a random, I don't even know what the breakdown I clicked on was, but so if you're self-submitting, then it's what you're putting here, correct?
Correct.
And if it's you were asked to submit, then it's just the generic submission notes, is what you're saying. Like right above where you confirm or decline, that open text box.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So now here's a question. Jeanette's like, thank you, Lord. Yeah. Here's a question for, now it just went out of my head. Oh, so we get a lot of auditions where we have to put like name, height, location.
Mm-hmm.
My inclination would be to follow those directions and put those things and not put anything else. Is there ever an instance we should put like those fun things first instead?
Well, almost always includes something else. Most of the time when it says confirm in the submission notes, if it asks name, height, location, but it also, if the character also needs singing experience or needs something like that sets your kid apart, put that first. Because if they're looking for that, they're going to scroll over it and look for it.
Okay.
If it ever says, like, you get an actual audition and it says include in your submission notes name, height, location, you can still put that fun fact if it's actually there. If the audition says swimming experience necessary and you put my child rides horses, that's a bad plan. That's not the time for that. Even though it's cool, even if they're an Olympic level horseback rider, I don't know what the kid version of that would be, but that's not the time for that.
Okay.
And then I'll share the thing that I learned earlier before I forget if you want.
Yeah.
For casting, because this was news-ish to me. Your agents, and when I say I have had at least 50 agents tell me this, agents, managers in my career, they always say it doesn't matter if your kid's union. They say if you are non-union, you can still get auditions for union projects. And that is 100% true. What I did not know how strict it was until today. I did know this about Taft-Hartley's, which is a whole nother thing. I was in a meeting with a big casting director today, and she said that even though everybody can get the audition, when they view the tapes, SAG requires them to view union actors first. So she said that the order is union actors, followed by SAG eligible, well, assuming it's TV film, followed by eligible, then this one really threw me, then FICOR, then non-union. Because usually agents are like, no to FICOR, go away, FICOR. Or like, we can't tell you, but don't do it. Usually that's what you hear. So I was interested to see that. They also said that how they sort that is in their Actors Access profile. Like in your child's, when you go in there and click, this is their age range, this is color hair they have. On the right side, there's a list of all the union affiliations. If your child is SAG eligible, you need to click that. If your child is union, if your child happens to be FICOR, you have to click union and FICOR for it to pop up in the search.
Okay.
So SAG actors do have a leg up then on getting callbacks and bookings?
Yes, but it just means they have to look at those first. If your child is a better actor, if your child has a better look, it doesn't matter. Yeah. One of my students, actually, this project is filming in like the Pittsburgh, Cleveland area. I coached a student that lives in the area and is SAG eligible. And I actually coached 2 kids for this exact same part, which doesn't happen often. This is like insider info for this particular feedback. This all happened in the last 24 hours. Mm-hmm. One of the students I've coached for years, books, has credits, came to me first with their audition tape. And I was like, listen, this is really good. We spent like 25-minute coaching and this was like 3 pages. Like, this kid came prepared, ready to go. I was like, yes, submit this tape. It's awesome. The next day, I coach another kid for the same part. That child lives out of state on the West Coast. And this is a local opportunity in Ohio, but it's a union project, but they want local hire. I coached completely different look, though. I coached the child. It wasn't even identical to the original one because it's playing to their strengths. It's their version, but it's the same breakdown, essentially. They immediately got in the veil check. The actor in Ohio is SAG eligible. Actually, maybe a must join. Actually, for a fact, is a must join. And true local, the other client is non-union.
And got the callback.
gotten a veil check. It
Well,
doesn't mean they'll look
got
the part.
I
the
just
veil check,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just gonna, yeah, my son actually did a job this past weekend. It was a not, it was, sorry, it was a union job and he's non-union. And so, yeah, so, and this is his third time doing a union job as a non-union actor. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, they would have looked at all the union kids first that fit that role, and then they looked at the non-union ones if they didn't find what they were looking for.
Yep.
And then he booked it, and he did the shoot this past weekend. So it's a win.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
win, and other states don't care. Like Georgia's a right to work state. There's different
yeah.
laws with that.
Yeah.
Where
I
you
mean,
can
I
work.
have a friend who she had her son, which he's doing really well, like he's booking big, but she went ahead and joined SAG before he was a must join because she thought it would help him, which he does get a ton of callbacks and he books, decently sized stuff. But I didn't know if it made a difference or not.
It makes a difference in the order that they're looked at. That same thing is true Broadway and theatricals. You have to audition your equity actors first. So if like 5 people walk in, 4 of them arrive before the last one, but the last one happens to be an equity actor, the equity actor gets to go first and everybody else has to wait.
Mm,
That's one of the benefits of the perks of being in the union. You get considered first.
interesting. Okay.
iPhones, you've never left a note. Is that bad? No, it's just now you have an opportunity to leave a note and make it better.
And sometimes you don't need the note. If it's just like age 6 to 8 actor, if that's all they're looking for is like boy 6 to 8, you don't have to put a note, but you can put something fun, right? Memorize this quickly. Great with kids. Great with animals.
I always write the slate. I don't know. Like I figured it was like maybe they wanted that information
Yeah.
when submitting the date, but
Sometimes they ask for it. Sometimes they say, tell us in your slate, but also put it here. Should we try to join SAG? We're New York City local, but the agent has never mentioned it. So here's the trick.
No.
Yeah, here's the tricky part about SAG. So one is $1,000 to join. So you got to think about, do you want to spend that? 2, if your child is getting better and better and better, and they are starting to outperform their peers in whatever pond they are currently in, then they're a big fish in perhaps a little pond. I don't know what the size of your pond is. If you're New York City local, I wouldn't suggest it though, because what happens is once you jump into SAG, now you're competing with people that are really good, usually doing a lot of work. They've gotten a lot of bookings and it gets way more competitive. So now they become a small fish in a big pond and it's going to make their life harder.
And even more importantly for your agent, if your kid does commercials, 70% of commercials are non-union. As soon as they join SAG, you will get way less commercial auditions. And a lot of times your agents sign you for the commercials and they hope you book TV film.
Yeah. The other is a lot of non-union jobs will still pay SAG rates. So
Sometimes more.
Yeah,
Let me
true.
tell you, like
Yeah.
Avery, my son is at 3 permits now. I'm in Canada.
Uh-huh.
And so we need 3 permits. And then once I believe the next job that he does that's union, he has to join the union, in which case now his agent now can only submit him for union jobs. But yeah, just some of the non-union jobs pay quite well.
Yeah.
So we're at this point now with his agent, we have to kind of weigh our options whether we join or not. And that's I'm going to leave with his agent because she knows better what the better opportunities are for him. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't feel like we get any non-union commercial auditions except from his Texas agent, which it's abnormal that we have a Texas agent, but it was because we lived there, But I feel like they're the ones that always send the non-union, and his other 2 agents send all SAG.
Mhm.
Even the
Atlanta, Georgia is not a huge market for commercials. We have them, but Texas is above us when it comes to commercials. LA, New York, Texas, and then I'd even say Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania. I'd put that. I mean, arguable with Atlanta because Atlanta does have some, but there's less down here. And they push for a lot more union ones. A lot of the CDs do down here.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're smaller buyouts. I've noticed a lot of bigger buyouts. I've gotten thousands of dollars for buyouts for commercials in LA. I made it to the final few for multiple commercials that had a $10,000 non-union buyout when I was acting a lot at like 18, 19, 20. It's like sometimes they're really worth it. And sometimes they're not. For the question in the chat about the Disney itself is not SAG. The Disney commercials are non-union. The audiobooks and things like that are non-union. A lot of the Disney princess stuff on YouTube, that's all non-union. Disney TV shows are union. It just depends on the contract, and every project is a different contract. But most things you see on TV and film and streaming services, those are union.
Yeah.
Not commercials.
Because Disney itself doesn't film everything that Disney on screen. Like they could have a variety of different production houses that are filming the stuff for them.
I feel like the right to work states too. You can do SAG productions, like Nolan's done a few, but if you're in LA, they definitely push to join SAG after I think 3. But being in Georgia, like he's done Arkansas, Georgia, Texas, SAG productions, and not a must join.
Well,
it depends on the state, and I will also say that SAG is usually very behind.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
A lot of times you will get your letter that they're a must join a year after they actually become a must join, or when they book their next job and paperwork goes through.
Yeah. There's also, Amber, I was reading the other day, I was on the SAG website, and if it's like an ultra low budget SAG, then it doesn't count. Like you have to, it's a certain level of SAG production in order for it to count towards being eligible or must join.
And it's also a certain amount of contracts. Like I've even heard rare stories where a 12-year-old boy booked a Disney TV show, but it was one contract for like 12 episodes. That was the only SAG job they did. It only counted as one contract. So even though he was a series regular, he was still able to work 2 more things before he does it. But those vouchers even count if you're background. Those jobs even count if you do a background thing, if you do a one line, it just depends.
Yeah.
Always call SAG or email if you're not sure.
Yeah. My kid is a Disney kid since a baby, singing and dancing. I just need the Disney casting directors to know that. I love that. Yay. All right. Last call, y'all. Any questions?
Do the Disney open call.
Is there...
Sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
Is there another one out?
No, but every year.
Yeah.
I've had
the generic one. Yeah.
I've had students get series regular auditions from it. I've had students book from it.
Yay! So what Amber's talking about is at least once a year, Disney will do an open call where they invite a wide variety of ages to audition, not for a particular role, but just audition in general, so they can see what talent is available to them. And so they'll publish a whole list of different scripts, and you can pick which one is appropriate for your child and their age, and submit. And then they go through them and they sort of like, who's good, who might satisfy this upcoming pilot that we might produce next fall, blah blah blah. And so you're auditioning for a specific role and you're waiting to hear when you're going to get it or not get it, kind of thing. Not that we get notified about those things all the time, but it's more just to be seen, if you will. We did get feedback from the last one. They said she read too young for what they wanted, but we'll keep in mind. Well, that's great. Yeah, that means she was really seen. That's awesome. Yeah. Jeanette, were you going to say something else?
Nope. I just like chatting.
Yay! You're always welcome to chat. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All right, y'all. Well, we will see you next Thursday. For anybody who wants to. Yay. And thank you, Amber, for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And congratulations on all those callbacks.
Thanks. Now we just got to land one.
Yay.
Have a great night.
You too. Take care, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.